Right everyone, what is going on? BusterBarnes here, bringing you my review / recap of Chelsea's 1-0 win away at Anfield in Merseyside against Liverpool in the Premier League. You know what guys, I was a little bit sceptical before, as you guys knew. I knew that Liverpool weren't in great form, but I also thought surely they cannot lose 5 home games in a row in the Premier League. But that is only what they went and did. We did defeat them. We weren't Charity FC for once. We didn't kick them into form for once. We actually picked up a well-deserved win with a beautiful goal from Mason Mount. But I will be getting into all the key moments of the game, as well as giving you guys my player ratings and my player of the season point scoring system as well. So if you enjoy, leave a like, comment down below your ratings and your general thoughts on the game, and as always subscribe for more Chelsea FC content. But with the lineup, I was only one player off in predicting the lineup fully. We did see Hakim Ziyech start instead of Christian Pulisic, who I predicted. Surprised you maybe saw Ziyech start over some of the negativity we heard from basically on Twitter, from fans on social media, over his performance against Manchester United, which I didn't actually think was too bad. And I think he showed some good stuff today, but maybe if you saw the way we played, it was maybe a little bit questionable, but we will be getting into that all a little bit later. It was the 3-4-3, and we actually did see Jorginho replace Kovacic. We saw Ben Chilwell keep his place. We saw Reece James come in for Hudson-Odoi. All the things that I sort of predicted for that more defensive setup, and it worked wonders. And we played Liverpool, and pretty much off the park, they did not look very good at all, although maybe some other things could have gone different ways. There were a few controversies which I will be talking about as I get into the moments. And when the game did start, it basically looked like it was going to be a game. Both teams started off fairly well, fairly fast-paced, but it wasn't that long before we did, in fact, take control. And our tactic, you could see, was actually long balls over the top for players like Werner and Ziyech to receive, and it actually worked pretty well, to be honest. We had some good quality, especially from the midfielders, Jorginho, and apparently, can't pass Kante. I've heard that all recently, that Kante can't pass. I know he's messed up a few attacks in our previous games, but to just say that he's, never been a good passer, or that's just not a part of his game, I think those people were proven wrong today. And just, spraying those balls left and right, Mount, Ziyech, Werner getting on the end, and Werner did prove to be quite unlucky in this game. He had a few chances early on, was given those warning signs to Liverpool where he did, miss or force a save from Alisson when he did break through. There was actually a ball, an air ball which fell. I believe it was Mount that kicked it backwards. Werner was on an onside position, and he unfortunately just couldn't loop it over Alisson. It was quite a hard ball to hit, considering it was in midair, and if he didn't hit it, then Alisson would have caught it. But Liverpool really not looking great. However, what I will say, one thing that Liverpool fans might be a bit frustrated about, is in fact once when Liverpool did cross the ball in, and I've got to say Salah was very good. I was really surprised that he got taken off. His sort of balls with his left foot over the top to Mane, they were causing us a couple of problems, not too many but a few, and unfortunately Mane did not have the best game in terms of decision making, and there was actually one point where Christensen came to compete for the ball. Mane knocked it past him, Christensen hit Mane, but Mane just carried on running and tried to get to the ball. If he went down, I'm sure that would have been a penalty. So, we've got to send our prayers and our, jubilations to Mane for not going down then, as I do think that probably was a penalty, to be honest. But I'm not going to go shouting to the referee or officials about that. But we actually did see the ball in the back of the net in the first half when Timo Werner, he was put through by Jorginho, he knocked it past Alisson and ended up putting the ball in the back of the net, and we all thought it was a goal. We did see Ziyech, he looked offside, Werner did look onside, and look guys, VAR, we've seen this type of thing happen to so many other clubs where it's your armpit or your shoulder being offside. It was bound to happen to us eventually. Unfortunately, it was against Liverpool. Unfortunately, it had to be against Timo Werner. This guy has probably had one of the unluckiest seasons in the Premier League this season. I can't think of someone who's been more unlucky, at least on the pitch, than him. Obviously there's injuries and stuff like that, but in terms of just your play on the pitch, this guy has been so unlucky. And they really need to review the offside rule, I think, because I don't think that should be offside. You need to have it so it's either just looking at feet or something like that. I know there's that Arsene Wenger sort of thing where it just has to be any part of the body being onside, which maybe has a few issues to that, but I think that it needs to change a little bit, as that goal, in my opinion, should have stood. Whether that's biased or not, that is my opinion. But, when that happens, I thought, oh no, the tide's going to turn and Liverpool going to look a bit better. And they actually did get a ball over the top to Mane, who completely fluffed his lines and miskicked it with his right foot. So that was a bit of a scary moment. Really, with Mane there, I say that he had a bad game and he did make some poor decisions, but really the two best chances Liverpool had were really him breaking through and causing a few issues, but he just couldn't really capitalise on any of them. But I will say, our defence was very good. There was maybe one or two mistakes, like from Rudiger giving the ball away, but Christensen had another brilliant game. Azpilicueta, solid as always, and I thought defensively Chilwell looked very good as well. It's clear to see that in these games where maybe we're against these bigger teams, it does pay off to have Chilwell at that left wing back. He covers a lot better defensively than Marcos Alonso. You don't really need the height against Liverpool either, so I think he was the right decision to play. Got down that left wing as well. Reece James, maybe not the best game from him, but I will get into that a little bit later. Midfield, I thought, was great. I was a little bit worried about Jorginho playing with the press. We've seen him deal well, but also deal poorly with it before. He was great. His passing was immaculate in this game, actually. I think it can be a bit 50-50, but today he was completely switched on. Kante was all over the pitch. Tackles, interceptions, 5 out of 5 long balls completed. He was just absolutely immense. And Mason Mount, as always, pressing down the opposition, getting past players with his agility, and he's just proving so many critics wrong, isn't he? So many people who doubted him last season. I don't know what they must be thinking now, but he is proving to be basically our best player this season, whether it be under Lampard or Tuchel. He's been awesome. Ziyech maybe not quite as good as against Manchester United, however he did have one good opportunity where he popped up in the box and it was blocked, his shot. And I've got to say that about Ziyech, with our front three, it's always been sort of Mason Mount and 2 other people. We can't really decide who the other people are. And you've got to give Ziyech some credit at least. He does obviously show his glimpses of class, but also he is getting in good positions. We could have had two goals split across those United and Liverpool games from the positions and shots he had. A great save from De Gea, a really good block from Liverpool. Well, basically what denied him those goals. So I think that Ziyech, his performance is going a little bit underrated. However, I was a little bit surprised to see him play in this match because our tactic was get in behind, loop the ball over the top. You maybe would have thought we'd have played someone a little bit pacier like a Pulisic, but like I said, can't complain too much. We did actually see Pulisic, Kovacic and Havertz all come on, but when they came on, it was really to just show up the game. They did some good defensive work, but we sort of kind of stopped attacking by that point. We do know that Tuchel at the moment definitely likes to shut up shop a little bit. Mendy looked very composed, actually. I thought in goal he's looked shaky in a few of the last games, but today his decision making was great. He didn't have to make any saves, I don't think, but his passing was good. And I thought that, he just commanded his area really solidly, and probably the best that I've seen him in a few games in terms of commanding his goal. And I do think that, honestly, everyone had at least a good performance in this game. And beating Liverpool away at Anfield in the league, I can't remember the last time we did that. Obviously, there was that 2-0 under Mourinho. Don't know if we've beaten them at Anfield since then, maybe once under Kante. But either way, it has been a while, and it was a great win. Tuchel was pumped after the game. You can see him going up to all the players. And it's just looking good for Chelsea now. We're back into the top 4. West Ham have a game in hand, but we've caught up now on Manchester United and Leicester. I believe they're 4 points ahead of us now. So some more results going our way. It's not going to be easy. We do have Everton next, then we have Leeds away. 2 difficult games, but if they go our way, we could maybe see ourselves dragging them into the top 4 hunt and maybe surpassing them and getting second place, which would be an absolutely brilliant achievement. And the fact that we're still unbeaten is crazy as well. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on the game. Could have maybe gone a different way on a different day with a few little key moments, but overall I think we were the better side and we did deserve the win. And one thing that I didn't actually mention was Mason Mount's goal. I mentioned it right at the start, him having a beautiful goal. Ball over the top from Kante. Mason Mount takes on 2 guys and he just fires it, drills it from about, the line, the penalty area line, into the bottom right corner past Alisson. A great goal from him. His finishing's getting better. You can see he's definitely trying to improve it. I do still want to maybe see him a bit deeper. I think that could benefit the team going forward as a whole. But he's really just fitting into any position Tuchel puts him into, and especially because he's got a bit more of a free role in this sort of front three. I think that's really paying off for the young Chelsea player, and he's just brilliant at the moment, and just really different to a lot of the other young English players in his position. He just offers so much, in his all-round game, and he's really proving to be a very professional and quality player. But that's enough about the game and the key moments, guys. Let me know your little reviews in the comments down below. As you guys know, I do like to give you guys my player ratings for the game. A 6 is the base rating for having an alright game. Clean sheets, especially against teams like Liverpool, are going to give the defence some good points. I'm going to give Edouard Mendy an 8 out of 10. Like I said, despite him making a few more saves against Man United, I thought in this game he looked calm, he looked composed, he really controlled his his penalty area, and I thought it was like one of the more professional performances I've seen from him, especially lately. So that actually really impressed me from Edouard Mendy, cutting out a lot of through balls from Liverpool as well. And that's why he maybe didn't have to make so many saves. It's because he was seeing these balls before they actually reached the opposition players. Going into the back three, going to give Rudiger and Azpilicueta a 7.5 out of 10. Decent, maybe one shaky moment from Rudiger with a pass, but overall they did well. Was scared about Rudiger versus Salah, but he dealt with him quite well, forcing Salah to put in those long balls, which he did do quite well. Same with Azpilicueta, did let a player in behind once or twice, but at the end of the day, clean sheet against Liverpool away. You can't really complain. Christensen getting an 8.5 out of 10. 0.5 less than the game against Manchester United. Only reason being is, like I said, I do think he probably, if Mane went down for that challenge from Christensen, that would have been a penalty. So that, if that happens, that wouldn't have been good from Christensen, and it probably should have happened. If I've got my unbiased head on, Mane probably should have gone down, and Christensen probably should have given away the penalty there. So that's why I've ranked him a little bit lower. And Liverpool did break through a couple of times, but there was the one key moment with Mane where he fluffed his volley. Besides that, we did keep them under wraps. Christensen came out a lot, made some great interceptions, I thought, and he's really becoming a lot more progressive under Tuchel, and that's probably because of the back three. When he's the centre of the back three, it gives him a much more free role. He has Jorginho dropping in. He has basically the pivot in front of him dropping back, and Azpi and Rudiger sort of cover him. So I think this is really the role that he thrives into. If we keep it, he definitely has a place in this team. Obviously, if we go back to a back four, I'll have my concerns then. But at the moment, he's had some brilliant games so far. And when Thiago Silva comes back, it's going to be harsh to see Christensen dropped. I do think he probably still should be, just because Silva moves the ball a bit faster, and I just think he's a bit better overall. But Christensen, he's fielding great, and he's really surprised me, to be honest, the last few games. I haven't really rated him before, but if he plays against Everton and he has a bit of redemption against Calvert-Lewin, who we saw last season completely just dominate him, if he has some revenge on that, then I definitely will change my view on Christensen, at least regarding this three at the back system. So he's going to get 8.5. Ben Chilwell going to get a 7.5. Defensive work I thought was brilliant. His crossing maybe not as great as we've seen it before, but I think he was definitely needed in this game to deal with Liverpool's attack, and I think he did it well. Reece James is actually going to get a 6.5. Now, the reason this might seem harsh, and I've defended Reece James before. Loads of people before I've seen saying, oh, he passes back loads, he doesn't progress the ball. And there was a few moments in this game where he didn't do that, but the passes were behind him, and I felt, but there was a couple of times where he got the balls, there was some space in front of him, and he did just sort of pass backwards. Now, bearing in mind, this could be instructions. Tuchel could be asking us to retain the ball, not take too many risks, so you've got to keep that in mind. It might not be Reece James' fault, but this was the first game where I noticed him being a little bit negative in the way that he played, and that is why he's going a bit down for me. Attacking-wise, didn't add loads. That's probably not why he played. He probably played to be a bit more defensive than someone like Hudson-Odoi, but just something about the game didn't sit right with me today, but I'm sure he will turn it around. Going into the midfield, Jorginho's going to get a 7.5. We kept the clean sheet. He made some good tackles, keeping the midfield under wraps. Some really nice long balls. His rating probably would have been higher if that Werner goal did in fact count, but obviously his arm was offside. You can't even score with your arm, but your arm was offside, so that's not going to count apparently. So I feel a bit bad for Jorginho there, but he did have a great game coming back into the side, and I think it was the right thing to do. Kovacic has played so many games recently, I think he needed a rest, and it was risky, but it paid off. Kante's getting an 8 out of 10, got the assist, made so many tackles, ground duels won. He kept, players like Thiago, just Liverpool's entire midfield under wraps. He was there to, stop Fernandes, and now he's stopped Liverpool midfield, and just a great performance from him. But getting a bit of slander recently online, undeserved. He's a great player, and definitely still has it. Maybe can't play as consistently as he used to, but he's still class on this day. Going to the front three, Ziyech getting a 6.5 out of 10. Not as good as his United performance. He did, however, get into some good positions. But yeah, I don't really understand why we played him in terms of the way we were actually playing our system in the game. But I thought he was alright, got into a good position, like I said, which you can't say for a lot of our other attackers that have started. So fair enough from him, and maybe some consistent performances or some appearances will help him build up that confidence, and we can maybe see that Ziyech that we saw for that sort of 3-4 game period under Lampard. Timo Werner's going to get a 7 out of 10. His runs were really positive. This is what he's best at, playing that sort of more striker role, or maybe not necessarily playing the striker role, but just being able to run in behind. Liverpool, they left a big gap. Fabinho and Kabak had a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. The ball from Jorginho over the top, other times from Mount, from Kante. Timo Werner was just getting in behind loads of times, finishing. Maybe not the best on some occasions. He did obviously get the ball in the back of the net, though, and was very unlucky for the goal not to count. So going to give him a 7. Would have got higher if he scored. But yeah, it's just been an unlucky season for him. Maybe he can turn it around soon. But still a very positive performance from Timo Werner. And Mason Mount, lastly but certainly not least, is going to get a 9 out of 10. Maybe it's a bit generous, but he scored the winner at Anfield away against Liverpool. What a goal it was from outside the box, drilled into the bottom right corner, just absolutely hammered it home. Did the older Kamehameha celebration to Ben Chilwell, sending him flying. And it was just a brilliant, it's always been brilliant from him. You're always going to get at least a 7 out of 10. His pressing, it's, unlike so many other players, he's just linking the play up, creating chances, just using his agility to get away from players. He caused the whole Liverpool team problems, and it was just a great performance from who has been our best player for a very, very long period of time, Mason Mount. And 9 out of 10, thoroughly deserved, scoring this winner, which could be so crucial in our battle for top 4 and to even finish maybe slightly higher up the table. So those are going to be my player ratings, guys. The bench, everyone's getting a 6 because they didn't really have time to do much, but they all did their jobs. And let me know your ratings in the comments down below. If I do get onto my player of the season point scoring system, I am going to give 2 players 1 point. And it was hard. I wanted to give loads of players 1 point. And I do think more players would have got points, like Jorginho if his assist counted. Maybe Rudiger if he didn't make the mistake. Chilwell I thought was very good, but I am going to give the 1 point to N'Golo Kante and Edouard Mendy. Edouard Mendy hasn't had a point in a while, and he has been keeping so many clean sheets. And you've got to think, with some of the shots he's been facing that maybe look standard or expected, you've got to think Kepa probably wouldn't be doing the same. He would have conceded more goals under Tuchel if Kepa was in goal. Maybe you think that's harsh, that is my opinion. And I think he deserves the point. Kante as well, brilliant performance from him, deserves the point, getting the assist. Gonna give Christensen 2 points. I know some people thought he was man of the match. Just because Liverpool did break through our defence well once, and I do think on another day he would have given away that penalty against Mane if Mane did go down, which you have to take into a little bit of account when at least doing these, point of scoring system points. I'm going to give him the 2. Just missing out to Mason Mount. He's obviously getting 3. The match winner. So many players tweeting about how great this guy is. He's brilliant. He's only going to get better at such a young age. Absolutely fantastic from him. And probably the first name on the team sheet at the moment under Thomas Tuchel. And one day I hope to see this guy be moved a bit deeper so we can add some more attacking talent. but he's still great. You know, he's thriving in his roles, and he can do so much, and hence why so many managers use him, like Southgate, Lampard and Tuchel, and I'm sure if another manager ever comes in the door, he's going to take to him as well. So brilliant performance from Mason Mount and a lot of the other players. I do hope you guys enjoyed this review slash recap. If you did, leave a like, comment your ratings down below and subscribe for more Chelsea FC content. My preview for another tough game against Everton will be out before it does commence, so do stay tuned for that one, guys. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.